All right, back for another beer review, and today I will be reviewing a beer from the Pigeon Hill Brewing Company, and they're out of Muskegon, Michigan, and this is their No Diggnity. So they're calling this a New England-style IPA, comes in at 6.7% alcohol by volume, 60 IBUs at the time of review. This can is just under 2 months old. I want to give a huge thanks and shout out to a good friend of mine and viewer of the channel, Jeff, aka NoJinx, for hooking me up with this one. I'll post a link in the description box to the beer mail unboxing video I did that contains all the beers that Jeff sent my way. Included in that beer mail unboxing was this beer. And he actually sent me a bunch of different beers that he was calling them summer crushers, or beers that he buys that are reasonably priced and readily available. And this was one of his favorites, along with, I think there was like 4 or 5 total in there. He just threw in the box. Was like, I want to see what you think about them. So thank you very much, Jeff. I do appreciate it. Now this one, doesn't matter how good the beer is. This label's fantastic. It is Chunk from the Goonies doing the truffle shuffle. And yeah, I mean, you can't get much better than that. On the side here it says, who needs dignity when you have a juicy IPA? Enjoy cold and often. Brewed in beautiful Muskegon, Michigan. 6.7% alcohol by volume. Like I said, just under 2 months old now. This was included in a beer mail that Jeff sent to me where beer exploded, and the the shipping company was going to send it back to him, and then all of a sudden it shows up at my house. I got the beer mail 2 weeks after he sent it, so this one was about just under 6 weeks old when he sent it to me. Originally, it didn't show up until about, the 2-month mark, so whatever, 2 months old, we should be fine. Let's crack it open, get it into glass, see what we got going on. So I haven't had, trying to think off the top of my head, I don't think I've had too many hop-forward beers from Pigeon Hill, so this should be interesting. Let's pour this into this upland glass, and we'll go from there. So yeah, it pours out like a hazy. It's looking like a hazy. Now check out that art. That's a beautiful can. Anyway, yeah, that pours out really hazy. Hazy has an orange honey color, pretty vibrant, about 1.5 fingers of a soap sudsy, slightly creamy looking head, really big bubbles with some smaller compact bubbles. But yeah, that's hazy. Looks like a New England-style IPA. Let's get a nose on it. Wow, that's really nice. So this has a lot of stone fruit to it: peach, apricot, mango, nectarine, things like that. Really nice orange component, orange and tangerine. I'm getting this biscuity malt base, 6.7%. Usually when beers, New England style IPA specifically, are around like 6.5 or less, and this is 6.7, I do get the malt base, and usually it just has this nice like biscuity, crackery malt character, and that's what I'm getting in here. A little bit of a floral component as well. Yeah, it smells pretty juicy. It smells fruity. Getting the malt base, which is nice. It doesn't smell overly sweet or anything. A little bit of floral component. Yeah, it smells pretty good. Let's get into it. Cheers, everybody, and thanks again, Jeff. That is a really crushable New England style IPA. So that malt base is right up front, crackery, biscuity. I feel like they're using some kind of like Pilsner malts more to the crackery side of things. And that's like the base for all these nice, juicy and fruity characteristics over top of it. I'm getting more of like a peach, apricot, mango, stone fruit vibe as I was getting in the nose. A little bit of that orange and tangerine carry over. As it passes through the palate, that floral component hits me about halfway through and kind of lingers to the end. It finishes semi-dry with a touch of bitterness, but not really. I mean, this is not really that bitter at all. There's not a lot of bitterness to this one at all, which you kind of expect from this style. The body on this one for 6.7, it's a touch thin. It's like lower side of medium body. Fine by me. Not a huge stickler when it comes to body and mouthfeels when you're talking about 6.7%. New England style IPA, lower side of medium body is okay. Some people probably want to see it full straight on medium body, whatever. Lower side of medium body. Mouthfeel, this is where, I don't want to say this beer loses me, but this is where it kind of loses me a little bit. I don't think this mouthfeel, for me, is what the style is about. It's a bit too effervescent. There's a lot of spritzy carbonation. It's not really soft and smooth and creamy. There's a little bit of soft and smooth component to this one, not really creamy whatsoever. If I was doing this blind from the looks of it, I'd say, yeah, that looks like a New England style IPA. From the taste, sure. But when it gets to the mouthfeel, it loses me a little bit. I'd want to see the mouthfeel kicked up a notch. I want to see this. It doesn't have to be super luscious and creamy and pillowy and all that stuff, but the style New England style, you want that softer and smoother mouthfeel. And I think this has a little bit too much carbonation, or if the carbonation is just fine where it's at, it just doesn't have enough soft smoothness for me. But everything else is pretty good, so I can't complain too much outside of the mouthfeel. It's really easy going, 6.7%, drinks like it's 5. Yeah, this is nice. Is it anything that's going to blow anybody's doors off? Probably not this stage in the game. But you know, if this comes in a 6-pack for like 12 to 14 bucks, you're talking $2 to like $2.25 a can or $2 to $2.50 a can. In this day and age, where like normal prices for like hyped, or not even hyped, just like so many local breweries are doing these, 4-pack of hazies for anywhere from $16 to $22. You're talking $4 to sometimes almost $5.50, $6 a can. If you can get a 12-ounce can of this for $2 to $2.50, yeah, this is well worth it. Again, it's not anything special, but I do enjoy it, and yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. So Pigeon Hill, their No Dignity from Muskegon, Michigan. I've had a lot of their beers. I don't think I've had a hop-forward beer until now, and rating-wise on it, I'd give it a high 3.75 out of 5. I'd go 3.85 out of 5. I'm really enjoying it. To get to that 4, the mouthfeel would have to be kicked up a notch, or the flavors would need to be a bit more intense. Something needs to give there for me to give it a better rating. But if you're in Michigan and this is a shelfie or something you can get, it's readily available and easy at a relatively with just even decent value or solid value, I'd say give it a go and see what you think about it. Even at 2 months old, it still has a lot of nice flavors. The mouthfeel is the only thing that's a bit of a bummer for me, but outside of that, can't really complain. So thank you very much, Jeff, for hooking me up with this one. Let me know what you paid for it, Jeff, and what the availability is, so everybody kind of knows. I always guess here. I'm just like, oh, I probably get it. Where? I don't know. I'm just assuming this is $2.50 a can. I know how you roll, and if you're saying this is Summer Crusher that has good value, then I imagine the price point is pretty damn good too. So yeah, Jeff, let me know what you paid for it. Let me know the availability, and I'll let you know that I truly do appreciate you sending this one my way. I appreciate everybody else stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. If you've had this one before, let me know what you think about it. Cheers.